Welcome to Billings Public Schools video tutorials. I've recently been doing a series of tutorials comparing iOS 6 and iOS 7 on the iPad. In today's tutorial, I'd like to compare the app Safari between iOS 6 and iOS 7. On the left-hand side of your screen is Safari in iOS 6, and on the right is Safari in iOS 7. Let's take a look at some of the details and see how they've changed in our upgrade. The first thing I'm going to show you is across the top, the address bar. Excuse me. What you're going to see is we have a back button, a forward button, our bookmarks, our cloud tabs, our share button, and our address bar. Moving across, we have a separate window that is our search button. Now, if we're going to compare that to the new Safari in iOS 7, I'm just going to sneak over here to the right-hand side, we'll see that our back button and our forward button are in the same place. They look a little bit sleeker. Our share button has gotten a new look. Instead of that arced arrow, it's just an arrow pointing out of a box. Here's one of the nicest, I think, changes and improvements, if you will, is the address bar and the search bar are now combined. So what does that mean? Well, what it means is when I tap inside my address bar, I can actually do a search for a topic or an image, or I can type in a URL. So if I were looking for math lessons on the iPad, I'm doing an abbreviated search there, I can just type in my search criteria, and you can see in my settings I have Google as my search engine, that it pulls up a Google search, and I get the results in my window, just like I would if I would have typed in the search bar that we had previously in iOS 6. So that's really a nice feature in my opinion. I'm going to go ahead and hit the back button. Okay, and when I hit the back button, then let's move across the screen and see what we have, if there's anything new over here. You can see that our bookmark button has gotten a little bit of a new look to it. Again, a little sleeker. The iCloud tabs button is over here on the right-hand side instead of the left. And then another, I think, nice addition is instead of having a really small, so I'll sneak over here, a really small add button to add a new tab, they've added the new tab button nice and large up in our menu. So I can just tap that plus button, and then the bookmarks that I have saved in my bookmark bar appear as tiles in my home screen. Now, when I did an update, they added some websites for me. Thank you so much for giving me Disney, ESPN, and Yahoo. But that's kind of a nice feature when you add a new tab, to have some of those websites that you visit often just available to you really quickly in a nice tab. So I'll show you what that looks like when you click on it. So that's a nice feature that I think that they've added in the iOS 7. One more thing that they added that I really like in the bookmark button, show you, is the Twitter feed. So in the past we've had bookmarks and history and reading list, and they've kind of changed this up a little bit. So let me sneak over here and show you what that looked like before. So here's our bookmarks, and at the bottom you can see bookmarks, history, and reading list. And I cleared my history, sorry. So now in the new Safari, they've put bookmarks, our reading list, and then they've added a Twitter feed. So I can, anything that I've saved to read later when perhaps I'm offline or something like that, I put in my reading list. And now I also can grab my Twitter feed really quickly, which I think is really cool. For someone who uses a social service, social media like Twitter, that's really handy for me to have right there in my web browser. So, a couple of things that you can see that have changed between iOS 6 and iOS 7 in the Safari app. In my opinion, there's some good changes there, and I think you're really going to like the way that it feels for you.